All right, let's dive in. Today we're exploring something you, the listeners, specifically requested. It's a deep dive into where technology and politics, well, kind of bump into each other and how we can, actually make a difference. You sent in this fascinating essay, High Horse Riders and Technologies, along with, wait for it, Dr. Lev Neymotin's resume. This is going to be good.
Yeah, talk about a thought-provoking combo. I mean, on the one hand, you've got this, passionate critique of, all those systems that make us feel powerless. And then on the other hand, you've got this whole career that seems dedicated to, driving progress. Through science and engineering, it's really something.
Totally. And the essay just starts out with this, palpable frustration. The author is just, completely disillusioned with politics, with the judicial system, the whole thing. They even go so far as to use the word corruption and point to campaign finance as, Exhibit A.
Right. And it's that feeling, that disillusionment that really sets the stage for their whole argument. They see the world of technology as this stark contrast. Yeah. A space where, if you build a good product, it speaks for itself. Success is measured in, things you can actually see and touch.
Exactly. Their argument is that a tech company is incentivized to create something that works, something that people want. There's this transparency to it, a direct link between the effort and the outcome.
Yeah.
Something they feel is, definitely missing in politics.
For sure. They use the phrase much cleaner when they're talking about tech. It's interesting. It's almost like they see this purity of purpose in technology that they don't see anywhere else.
Yeah. And that leads to, probably their biggest piece of advice for young people, right? It's to choose technology as a career path. They literally say that's where real progress happens. And that's where Dr. Neymotin's story, his career, comes in.
Oh, absolutely. His career is the embodiment of technology as a force for progress. He got his start in the Soviet Union working on things get this, turbulent flow simulations, and even magnetohydrodynamic power engineering. It's pretty wild.
Okay, I gotta admit, some of that went a little over my head. Can you break that down? What do those fields even, involve?
Oh, totally. So turbulent flow simulations, they basically model how fluids move, like air or water. It gets pretty complex, but it's super important for things like aerospace engineering or even, predicting the weather. And then there's magnetohydrodynamics, which is all about how fluids that conduct electricity interact with, get this, magnetic fields. And that has applications in things like power generation.
Wow, that's really fascinating. So even early on, he was tackling these really complex scientific challenges.
Oh yeah, for sure. And all of that foundation in applied physics and engineering, it really set the stage for what he does now, especially, his work in the field of nuclear safety and non-proliferation.
Which brings us to, his current company, Live Power, Inc., and their big focus on small modular nuclear reactors.
Exactly. And this is where his expertise in nuclear safety really, comes into play. Small modular reactors, or SMRs, they're designed to be way safer, and they have a much smaller footprint than the traditional reactors. They have huge potential. They could be a much safer and more sustainable way to generate energy.
And it looks like Dr. Neymotin has had a pretty big role in, advancing this whole technology. Yeah. I mean, his resume lists a ton of publications and even international collaborations.
It's really impressive, the work he's done, and it really speaks to his dedication to, using technology to solve the world's problems, real world problems,
So we have this passionate argument for, technology as a force for good. But the essay also kind of acknowledges that, even powerful tools, like even the internet, can be misused. So how does that fit in with the whole choose technologies advice?
That's a really important point. The essay isn't pretending that technology is perfect. They specifically warn about how the internet could be used for, for manipulation or even control. But I think their message is really this. If you're passionate about making a positive impact, technology gives you the tools to do it, a powerful set of tools. But the key is using them responsibly, ethically, So
it's not just about picking technology, but picking how to use it.
Exactly. It's about being aware of the impact your work is going to have and really trying to build technologies that help humanity, not, exploit it.
That's a powerful message, especially for young people who are just starting their careers.
Yeah, I think so. And I think Dr. Neymotin's career, with its focus on, safety and all the international collaborations, it's a really great example of how technology can be used for good.
It's kind of wild how the essay frames this whole choice. It's not just technology versus politics. It's it's cynicism versus action.
Oh, for sure. It's like they're saying, okay, so you're frustrated. Don't dwell on it. Do something. Build something better.
And it's interesting to, like, think about Dr. Nemoten's career in that context, right? He lived through some pretty major political shifts, moving from the Soviet Union to the U.S., but his focus stayed the same, pushing the boundaries of science and engineering.
You're right. And his work, especially the stuff on, international collaboration on nuclear safety, it really shows how technology can, like, bring people together. It's like there's this common ground, shared goals that kind of go beyond political differences.
Yeah, it's like, regardless of what's happening politically, everyone needs safe, reliable energy, right? And technology, it gives us a way to work together on that, no matter what you believe.
Exactly. It reminds us that even with, all the crazy geopolitics, there's still room for cooperation, progress driven by shared technological goals.
So let's circle back to the advice for young people. The essay says, choose technologies. Their world is so wide and is in need of curious people.
Yeah, and I think that's a key takeaway here. It's not about, like, running away from politics. It's about, like, embracing the potential of technology. Mm-hmm. It's always changing, always evolving. There's so much to explore.
It's almost like they're inviting people to join this community, this group of builders and innovators who are shaping the future,
Exactly. And that message, it's going to resonate with anyone who's feeling kind of disillusioned, but still wants to, make a difference, make things better.
It's a real call to action. It's telling young people to take their energy, their curiosity, and put it into something where they can, like, actually make a difference.
And that's what makes this pairing so fascinating. The essay and Dr. Nemoten's resume, they're not just suggesting a career path, they're suggesting a mindset,
A mindset that's about action, not cynicism.
Yeah.
And that sees technology as, like, a tool, a powerful tool to create a better future.
Exactly. And that's a message that, honestly, I think we could all use, no matter how old we are or what we do.
It's pretty inspiring when you think about it that way. Like, going from feeling totally helpless with all these huge problems to actually trying to find solutions through technology.
It really is. And Dr. Nemoten's career, the way he's gone from those turbulent flow simulations to designing nuclear reactors, it really shows how important it is to be able to adapt in the tech world. It's always changing, you got to be willing to learn new things and take on those new challenges.
Yeah, it's all about lifelong learning, isn't it? He just keeps pushing the boundaries of knowledge.
Yeah, and that's a really valuable lesson for anyone who's thinking about a career in tech. Be curious, be adaptable, and never back down from a challenge.
So bringing this back to you, what's the big takeaway from this whole deep dive, from high horse riders and technologies and Dr. Nemoten's amazing career?
I think at its core, it's about having the power to choose your own path. The tech world, it gives you this incredible way to take your passions, your skills, and use them to make real change, meaningful change.
It's about finding that place where what you love to do lines up with what the world needs, and believing that technology can make things better.
Exactly. And we always have to be aware of, the ethical side of things, but this deep dive, it really does offer a message of hope. It's a call to action for anyone who wants to make a difference.
It reminds us to stop focusing on the things we can't control and start focusing on what we can build, and how technology can really help us create a better future.
It really can. And maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. If you could sit down with Dr. Nemoten today, knowing what you know now, what would you ask him? What advice would you want as you figure out your own path? As you think about how your skills and your passions can contribute to a brighter future?